Right, boys, so today I'm going to be teaching you the most easy and effective mechanical trading strategy that basically took me from being a discretionary nobody fucking blowing every single top step account that I was fucking trading to actually being able to pass my first few top step accounts and also pass some alpha capital accounts. So I'll chuck the certs on screen now so you know I'm not bullshitting, and we are going to jump straight into this. So this is going to be a lot more simple than your typical ICT strategy or your typical TJR strategy. It is super easy. My nan could trade this, and all it is just finding a bias and then executing the strategy on the 5-minute chart. So for the bias, with the fully mechanical model we do also have a hybrid model, but it is a bit more advanced, and that is kept strictly within the VIP. So here we've got the one is number bias. So we're going to get onto the 4-hour chart here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have an indicator installed called Fractals by Rachel T. So if you come into here and you search in Fractals, you'll find this little nice indicator here, and you want to apply that to your chart. What that essentially does is put these little triangles onto our chart, which are fractals, which is some mad chaos theory shit, which we're not going to get into because it doesn't matter. You don't need to know it. And what we're going to do is we're going to trace these back, and we want to see a clean candle break through the fractal. So what I mean by that is if I draw this out here as a line, you can see nothing has pushed through this fractal here. Nothing has pushed through this fractal here. We're coming back. Nothing has pushed through this candle here. The wicks do not count. So if you don't know what a wick is, it's basically like a snail trail of where the price has been. If you're watching this video, it's a strategy video, so you probably do know a decent bit about trading. So boom, we are following these back, and we can see here, this looks like it does actually close through, but it does not count because we print another fractal. So if we have another fractal form on the break of structure, on the push through the break of structure here, so we're pushing up through the fractal, it does not count. So we're going to come back, and there we go. Look, we've got our clean line getting pushed through by a body here, and that is getting pushed through up. So that means if we are getting pushed through up, we want to buy the market because we want to be following the direction of the trend. So that is how you find your bias. I'm sure that's a lot simpler than the TJR bullshit you boys have probably been taught before. And we are going to now jump into the 5-minute chart. So now we know we are looking for a buy. So what we're going to do is we are going to mark out the session times. How we do that is get a little vertical line toolio up here. And then we mark out midnight. We mark out 8 a.m. and then we mark out 1 o'clock. And luckily for me, I have built myself a little indicator that does this for me, so I don't have to fuck about with that shit. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the market to open here, and because we are looking for a buy, what we want to do, the next step, once we're on the 5-minute chart, so we've got our bias, find our bias, and in this case we are looking for a buy here. 2, we are going to look at previous session highs or lows. Now what I mean by that is the highest point or the lowest point in the previous session. So if we are looking for a buy, we're looking to bet on the price coming up, we want to be looking at the lowest point of the previous session. So the Asian session here from midnight to 8 a.m. with the lowest point of this session here. So we have marked out the lowest point. If, for example, on the 4-hour, we had pushed through the fractal to the downside like that, then we would actually be looking at the high. So we would have marked out the high here. Now at this point, all you want to do, you've marked out your low, all you want to do is set a notification on this low and then get off the charts. You no longer need to look at the charts until you get a notification on that low. So we're going to play this out. Boom, 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 boom. Absolutely nothing. So what we're going to do now, we've opened up into the New York session, which is from, so we've got 8 to 1 o'clock. That's our London session. This is our Asian session. And now we are in the New York session. So we're still on the same step, looking at the previous session highs or lows. We are looking at the lows, and what we're going to quickly do is, as we've just got into the new session, we're going to double check the 4-hour chart and make sure that the bias is still the same. It is. We've got this break here. That's fine. So we're going to go back onto the 5-minute chart, and now we're going to wait for this. We're going to put a noti on here, and we're just going to wait for the noti to go off. Boom, boom, noti goes off. So at this point, we've just jumped back on the charts, and we are going to actually get out our first thing, which is going to be slightly technical. It's the fib retracement tool. You can find it up here on the left. And we are going to mark this from the highest point to the lowest point after the sweep. So we've got the sweep here. Our notification's just gone off. And we are going to wait until we see this first up candle. And then we're going to mark the highest point down to this first candle. So I kind of explained that in a cack-handed way. My bad. So we get the sweep here, which is just the previous session low getting touched. And then what we want to actually do is just wait for the first up candle. Boom. We get our first up candle there. And then we want to draw out this Fibonacci tool. And then if you've got these settings on your tool, you should have the blue line, which we're going to call the fake out zone. So I'm going to draw this blue line, and this is now our fake out zone. So this is step 3. We are going to wait for the fake out zone to be tapped. So we're sat here chilling. We've set a notification on this blue line, and we are just waiting now. We're not looking at the chart. Boom, our notification goes off, and we look back on the chart and see we have touched the fake out zone. So now what we're looking for is essentially what we were looking for on the 4-hour chart. When we're looking at the bias, we're going to call this the break of structure. So we're now looking at these fractals, and we want to see the exact same thing we saw on the 4-hour. We want to see one of these fractals get pushed through, and then we will be looking at taking our entry. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to draw a little line skin on the most recent fractal, and I would put a little noti on this. And at this point, this is where you're going to start looking at the chart a bit more, maybe every 5 to 10 minutes, just to make sure no new fractals form that could possibly be broken through. So we are just chilling right now. Boom. There we go. Look, we get another fractal form. So we would want to be on the chart at this point so we can mark this out and set a notification on it. So we've set a notification on this point here, and as you can see, that another fractal has just been printed. So we are going to remark this. Boom. Another fractal has just been printed here. And we actually have just got our break. Fucking hell, mate. Our break of structure. So if we go back, boom, we got a fractal here. Boom. Shit gets pushed through. That is called break of structure. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to get the exact same fib tool, but this time, instead of marking it from the top to the bottom, or if you're looking at a sell position from the bottom to the top, we are going to flip it the opposite way around, and we want the red line to be where we are expecting our stop loss to be. So if we're looking for a buy position, we're betting on the market going up, so we want our stop loss to be at the bottom. If we're betting on the market going down, we want our stop loss to be at the top. That's just how it works, and that is how you will know how to put your fib on the chart once we get the breaker structure and once you have got into the rhythm of the strategy. So essentially all we would do now is go onto our execution platform like CTrader, Topstep, MT5, whatever it is, and we would set our limit order on at a fixed 1 to 3 with the entry price on this red line and the stop loss price on this red line. And I swear to God, it actually is that simple. So right here, we obviously extend the fib range. So we might have to adjust our order a little bit here. We move up. So we've got to bring the fib up with the move. And boom, we are now tagged into the trade. So as you can see, because I moved my thing up, the risk to reward has changed. So we're going to make sure that's still set at a set 3R. And then we are going to play this out. Boom. W. 3R made. So that is essentially how to trade the fully mechanical variation of the tap and barrel model. And if you boys have any questions, send me a message on Instagram. I will put the link in the bio, or join the Discord and get yourself involved. I shall see you in a bit, boys. It's the Big Nez. Have a good one.